2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 9th of December and it's World Techno Day. And a big happy birthday to Judi Dench, H, Simon Helberg and Felicity Huffman. The winter of discontent continued on Thursday as teachers in Scotland took part in the second of a 2-day walkout over pay. It follows a week riddled with festive strike announcements from rail workers and border force staff, and with industrial action now set to affect parts of the UK virtually every day until Christmas, it's left many wondering whether a general strike could be on the cards. But RMT union boss Mick Lynch told Sky's Kay Burley more can be done to reach a solution.
Are you saying that this government is purposefully scuppering any chance of a deal?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. They have torpedoed the negotiations and they have told the companies to take on the strikes.
Meanwhile, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, who so far refused to back striking workers, took the opportunity to plug his own party at a business conference in London.
If you look at the last Labour government, we didn't have this industrial disputes because we resolved the underlying issues. The answer to good industrial relations is not conflict, it's actually how you resolve the underlying issue.
And Education Secretary Gillian Keegan used her stern mum voice to express her frustration at the strikes happening over the festive season.
It's really disappointing that people are striking, and it's really disappointing they're striking at Christmas. You know, we've missed the last 2 or 3 Christmases have been completely disrupted due to the pandemic, and everybody's plans are being disrupted.
If this winter strike action didn't already make you feel like you've travelled 40 years into the past, then Thursday saw the clocks turn back even further as Levelling Up Secretary Michael Gove gave the go-ahead to open the UK's first new coal mine in decades. Plans for the Cumbria mine were initially approved by the County Council 2 years ago, but the project was later suspended over concerns it would increase carbon emissions. Unsurprisingly, Thursday's decision's been met with criticism from climate action groups and MPs alike, including Shadow Levelling Up Secretary Lisa Nandy.
It is the latest in a string of absurd decisions from a government in chaos, causing chaos in this chamber and causing chaos out there in the country.
And Green MP Caroline Lucas isn't pleased either.
I have never been as desperate as I feel right now. What we're seeing is nothing less, I think, than a climate crime against humanity.
The chaos didn't end there, though. Speaker Lindsay Hoyle was forced to suspend Commons after Michael Gove failed to provide opposition MPs with his full statement on the matter in advance. But Michael seemed oblivious to the tension as he defended his decision to greenlight the project.
After reading the inspector's report in full, I am satisfied that in my role as Secretary of State, it is the right thing to do to grant this planning application.
After 294 days in Russian captivity, US basketball star Brittany Griner was released on Thursday in a prisoner swap for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. The Phoenix Mercury player was arrested at a Moscow airport in February for alleged possession of cannabis oil cartridges and was sentenced to 9 years in prison on drug charges at a controversial Russian trial in July. US President Joe Biden seemed relieved as he confirmed her release in a press conference on Thursday.
She's safe, she's on a plane, she's on her way home. After months of being unjustly detained in Russia, held under intolerable circumstances, Brittany will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been there all along.
And Brittany's wife, Sherelle Grainer, took the opportunity to advocate for the release of other US prisoners held in Russian captivity, including Paul Whelan, who was imprisoned 3 years ago on espionage charges.
Today my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole, and so BG and I will remain committed to the work of getting every American home, including Paul.
As fears grow for the millions of Ukrainians trapped without power, heat or running water while temperatures across the country plunge, Russian President Vladimir Putin appeared to be enjoying himself at an award ceremony in the Kremlin on Thursday. Russian forces have been repeatedly targeting Ukrainian energy facilities in a series of missile strikes over the past 2 months, a strategy which has been labelled a war crime by Western leaders due to the widespread damage it's caused to civilian infrastructure. But the Russian president doesn't seem fazed. Clutching a champagne glass, an apparently drunk Putin vowed to continue.
There's a lot of talk right now about our strikes against the energy infrastructure of a neighbouring country.
Yes, we are doing it, but who started it? Who struck the Crimean Bridge?
Still to come on the Smart 7, England and France get ready to square off, and Celine Dion's postponed her tour. Right after this. Welcome back. 3.
Friday sees the first two World Cup quarter-finals as Croatia face Brazil and the Netherlands take on Argentina. It's all just a warm-up though for England versus France on Saturday. It'll be the third time the two countries have come up against each other in a World Cup, with England having tasted victory on both previous occasions. But French midfielder Adrien Rabiot says England will need to be prepared to face the reigning world champions.
They must be very careful because they will face difficulties against us.
Meanwhile, Man City's Calvin Phillips will be hoping to get his first start of the tournament on Saturday, although he seems more excited for Raheem Sterling, who's returned to Qatar following a break-in at his home in Surrey.
Yeah, massive lift. Raheem's an amazing player, and obviously had to fly home to deal with what's gone on, and we're just happy that everything's all right, and he can rejoin us and play a big part in the next game, which we're really looking forward to.
There was some sad news on Thursday. Celine Dion announced she'll be postponing her European tour, which was set to begin next February after being diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder. The singer was in tears as she filmed a video for her 5 million Instagram followers explaining her condition, which causes muscle spasms that affect her vocal cords and might eventually leave her paralysed.
I've been diagnosed with a very rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome. It hurts me to tell you. This means I won't be ready to restart my tour in Europe in February.
All right. We know you've been waiting for us to talk about Meghan. Here we go. She's been called fake, crazy, insane, a bully, and on Thursday, we discovered it was all true. But before you tabloids get all excited, the trailer for Meghan, a new horror film about a robotic doll who goes on a killing spree, has just dropped and it looks utterly terrifying. It's set to premiere in UK cinemas next month, so grab your popcorn and maybe an eye mask too if you're a little bit nervous.
Meghan, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
1, 2, 3, 4, I declare some work. I won't let anything harm you. I love her.
Meghan's not a person, Katie.
You don't get to say that.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.